It's Monday, the 23rd of March, 2026. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories, 5 minutes. Let's go. Story number 1, the local share market is set to tumble this morning after US President Donald Trump gave an ultimatum to Iran that if the Strait of Hormuz was not fully opened within 48 hours, the US would, and I quote, obliterate Iranian power plants. The comments threatened to push oil prices higher, and that would flow through to higher interest rates. Over the past few days, Donald Trump has gone from talking about winding down the conflict, now as far as he can the other way, basically, to obliterating Iranian assets, and the inconsistency, you got to say, is spooking markets.
Yeah, certainly there's no sign of fighting diminishing after Trump's comments on the Strait. Iran, in response, threatened to attack energy, tech and desalination infrastructure in the region. Even if there's some sort of resolution soon, or maybe the Strait reopens, the cost of oil will remain high for some time yet. Futures trading suggests the local market could open down nearly 2% this morning, currently trading about 8% below where it was when the conflict in the Middle East commenced. Now, Shane Oliver, chief economist at AMP, he reckons top to bottom, it could fall by 15%, suggesting there's still some way to go.
The crisis now, Sean, is officially disrupting petrol supplies, with Energy Minister Chris Bowen saying that 6 out of 80 monthly fuel tanker deliveries to Australia in the next month have been cancelled or deferred. It isn't quite panic stations. Chris Bowen said that the government had no plans to invoke emergency powers to ration fuel, even though some petrol stations have actually run dry. But given that we import around 85% of our oil, it is cause for concern.
Yeah, absolutely. Bowen told ABC insiders that the government's latest stock take had shown that the level of petrol and diesel available in Australia had slightly risen since before the US and Israel launched a military operation against Iran 3 weeks ago. We have 38 days worth of petrol, 30 days of diesel and jet fuel. Both onshore and refineries were working full pelt, Bowen said, and supply ships delivering from Asia were arriving in good numbers.
Let's move on to story number 2 now. The housing market is running out of puff, with the lowest auction clearance rate over the past week since the low levels of 2025. The preliminary combined capitals auction clearance rate, Sean, it's quite a mouthful, came in at 62.7%. Every capital city recorded a decline. The result came as the number of auctions ramped up and shows the impact, really, of higher interest rates and a certain amount of economic uncertainty.
Yes, there was close to 3,000 auctions across the country over the past week. That's one of the busiest weeks of the year. This week there's 4,000. So a similar result will confirm that the market's in a bit of a funk. Melbourne was among the best of the capital cities, the clearance rate of 64.2%, although that was the lowest result in almost a year for that city. Sydney came in at just under 61%, the worst for it since mid-December. Adelaide, normally 80-something, 65%. Not so good, same as Brisbane.
Sean, story number 3, the firing of an IT worker who lost his motivation to work, faked his timesheets while working from home and logged into his laptop for as little as 10 minutes a day has been upheld by the Fair Work Commission. The Commission upheld Hansen Corporation's firing of its database manager for allegedly deceiving it into thinking that he worked 7.5 hours a day on the grounds that such behaviour amounted to serious misconduct destructive of the employment relationship. It's part of a series of unfair dismissal claims by employees who have been accused of doing little work while working from home, and as employers and unions fight in the Commission over timesheet requirements for remote workers.
Yeah, amazing story. The Commission heard that Hansen started to get suspicious about the activity of its database manager, who worked in the office and from home, when he kept failing to attend online meetings. Rookie error, Michael. Using systems that tracked logins, browsing and keystrokes, Hansen found that for 4 days the employee had been claiming full work days despite only logging into company systems for half a day or less. In fact, one day he logged in for 10 minutes. The next day, didn't log in at all. Commissioner Trevor Clark found the manager's explanation for the gaping chasm between his 10 minutes of activity in the system and 7.5 hours of work wholly unconvincing.
Indeed. Story number 4, global gold production, Sean, hit a record 3,672 tonnes last year, up 1% from a year earlier, as the industry is running out of easily accessible reserves, according to the World Gold Council. The biggest output year in more than a decade. The council said that output could actually increase again this year as 2 major mines resume operations. Global gold reserves are estimated at about 60,000 tonnes, but it's actually getting harder to access it, notwithstanding the improvements that are being made in technology.
That's right. So many mines are old. Much of the easily gettable gold has been mined. There's rising costs, geopolitical issues, much bigger environmental and social challenges. For some perspective, the Gold Council estimates that about 215,000 tonnes has already been mined, mostly since 1950, with 60,000 less. Worth, if you want to chase a rabbit down a hole here, go to gold.org. Check it out. Elton John is on the front of it. The phrase "touched by gold Z," you click into it. It's like a promo for gold, narrated and starring Elton John. He talks about all his gold shoes and gold clothes, and it's slightly weird.
On the World Gold Council website. That is amazing. All right. Story number 5, Sean. The world's top airport has been named, with Singapore's Changi winning the Skytrax World Airline Award for the second year running. It's basically the Oscars for airports, isn't it? Best of the Aussie airports, Melbourne.
That's right. Seoul came in at number 2, followed by Tokyo's 2 main airports and Hong Kong, all Asian airports, which is interesting. Best of the Aussie airports, Melbourne, as you said, 21. Brisbane at 40, Sydney at 52, Perth at 58. The awards based on customer satisfaction surveys cover 575 airports worldwide. Others of interest, Charles de Gaulle in Paris, number 6, Rome with 7, London's Heathrow, 16, JFK, New York, 85.
Okay, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thanks, Michael.
It's Monday, the 23rd of March, 2026. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.